After 16 albums of guitar virtuosity, can Joe Satriani still produce something new and exciting? Let's find out. What Happens Next is the newest album from guitar legend and virtuoso Joe Satriani. Satriani is most known for his guitar-heavy instrumentals, where he showcases an absolutely unbelievable arsenal of guitar techniques, pretty much picking up the torch where Eddie Van Halen left off. If you're looking for that same style and sound here as his hits like Surfing with the Alien and Satch Boogie, you'll find them here, but not as much as you'd expect. On his 16th album, Satch brings a more simplified approach to his songwriting, exchanging fast technical shredding solos with a slower, more melodic style, which doesn't hurt the album at first, as it does bring in a breath of fresh air. However, as time goes on, the album does tend to drag on a little bit, mainly due to the fact that the album is quite top-heavy, as the strongest songs seem to be completely on the first half of the album. The other main note to point out for this album is the backing band behind Satriani. For this album, Satch enlists the help from well-known Deep Purple bassist Glenn Hughes, and behind the kit he has Red Hot Chili Peppers and Chickenfoot bandmate Chad Smith, essentially forming a supergroup as such. Now moving on to the songs themselves. The album opens up on a high note with the hard-rocking track Energy. The main riff of the song screams Jimmy Page influence, alongside some pretty impressive guitar work from Satriani in the solos. The pace slows down at a couple points during the track, but the energy is never lost. And no, I'm not going to apologize for that pun. Overall, it's a really strong opening track. Next up is Catbot, which is built around a heavy and extremely funky riff and some pretty unique guitar playing by Satriani. With that being said, it never really feels as good as Energy, therefore sounding a little underwhelming. Thunder High on the Mountain is next and has a fantastic opening intro that is built around a simplistic drum beat, which is accompanied by some guitar tapping as well as backing strings. This is done before exploding into a simplistic yet heavy riff. The song has a slower, more emotional breakdown, which shows off another style of guitar playing for Satriani, before returning to this heavy 70s hard rock inspired riff. Another strong song. The next song is Cherry Blossoms, which is a more ballad-esque song that is played around some tribal drumming done by Smith. It's an okay track, but doesn't do anything to stand out against the other songs on the album, or Satriani's older ballads. The second half of the track picks up a bit, but it never hits the heights that you would want a song like this to hit. Righteous is next, and it's an average track at best. Once again, nothing here really stands out, which doesn't really make me want to revisit this track. It's a typical rock track and not much more. The next track is Smooth Soul, and it definitely lives up to his name and it's very soul-based. It's definitely inspired by Carlos Santana and others like him. It showcases some really good guitar work. The next track is Head Rush, and it's probably the best offering on this album. It's a fast-paced rocker that calls back to the Satriani style of old. Satriani, Smith, and Hughes are all fantastic on this track, with Hughes showcasing some incredible strong bass work. The next two tracks, Looper and the title track, What Happens Next, are both pretty weak when compared to Head Rush. They aren't terrible, just not memorable in any way. Super Funky Badass gives you exactly what you would expect with that title. It's funky as hell with a really strong ending, but it does start off a little slow. Invisible has some good guitar work, but again, nothing stands out too much. With that being said, the final track, Forever and Ever, definitely is a standout on this album. The first thing you'll notice is that this track is very inspired by Jimi Hendrix, with the intro sounding a lot like his song Little Wing. It's probably the slowest track on the album, but it also contains some of Satriani's best playing. It's not that fast or extreme, but the way he plays is perfect for the song with this very slow, emotional style of guitar playing. So in conclusion, What Happens Next gives you what you expect from a Joe Satriani, but also tries to change up the sound a little bit, for better or for worse. The main issue I have with this album is that there are some very forgettable tracks, which doesn't really want me to listen to the full album again. But with that being said, the tracks that are good are quite good, and I'll definitely revisit them. So in conclusion, I give What Happens Next by Joe Satriani a 6 out of 10. Now if you want to get more rock and metal reviews quite like this one, then please feel free to hit that subscribe button. Also, if you've checked out this album and want to let me know your opinions on it, please do in the comments below. Cheers.